Good morning, my little skadoosh nudes. We are here today and we gonna be throwing it back hard. As you can tell, today's video is gonna be a little spiky. But if you have not heard already, our new series on Sam and Colby 25 by 25 is out now. We spent 2 months coming up with and filming this first video. It's amazing. Colby and I did a challenge where the winner got to tattoo the other person blindfolded. Yeah, it's pretty intense. So go check that out if you have not seen it already. And if you have, make sure to share it with a friend. Again, this is our passion project and it's awesome. But because 25 by 25 means we're not gonna be doing haunted videos as much, I am here to fill those desires of haunted content. So don't you worry, we're gonna still be spippy somewhere else. And today we are reviewing the creepiest footage ever caught on security cameras. And I want to say, yeah, definitely there's paranormal stuff like that, but the last two have got to be the single creepiest videos I have ever reviewed on this channel. Like, no lie, I'm not trying to clickbait this video. I literally was so excited to film this video when I started like looking into this, and I was like, oh my god, this would, you know, make me move to Mexico or something like that. Speaking of, an interesting video is coming in a couple weeks, but different topic. So let's just get right into it. These things are spooky, so let's go. All right, so there's this thing called CCTV. It's closed circuit television, otherwise known as video surveillance. We're gonna be looking at a bunch of CCTV clips today. The first one comes from outside someone's house on a surveillance camera, and we come across this random dude, you know? The thing with these security cameras is when you find a guy like just strolling past or whatever, they usually like look normal until this happens. So this guy's walking up, he's all normal, and then all of a sudden he starts creeping, like really weird, straight to the ground, like very like, okay, you're looking suspicious, boy. He's got weird posture. Sometimes he like goes backwards. I don't know what the fuck this dude is doing. He looks like some gargoyle or something. It's super weird. Obviously though, as you can tell, he ends up getting really close to the house. I think what he's trying to do is obviously like peep on someone or like see if anybody's home, but he gets all the way close up to the window. Then about halfway through, you see this guy like bend over because he hears a car. He's almost getting caught, but he bends down in the weirdest like creeper position. Like, why is this dude doing this? I mean, come on. I feel like there's better ways to hide. And then basically he gets really up close and you can see this really awkward run that he does to like zoom out of there. And obviously that means he's probably got caught by who's ever inside. Now what sucks is this guy actually never got caught. After a lot of investigation, even after years passing, nothing happened. So that sucks, and that means he's still probably prowling around in someone's front yard. I thought this was really creepy because it's so realistic. Like, this could be happening in anybody's neighborhood. This looks like a normal, nice neighborhood. Obviously, they got like cameras around and they've got a nice driveway, you know, whatever, I don't know. But this is probably the least scary of the bunch, so let's move on. So you actually might have seen this one because it happened very recently. This was uploaded within about a year ago. It's actually about a 9-year-old Russian girl running from this cloaked man. And this is not only creepy, but also very badass. So watch this. So as you can see, a girl walks up to what seems like her house, and she's putting in like a pin code or something, and there's a man that's definitely not supposed to be there. If he was, he'd walk straight up in or like maybe do the code for her, but he waits a little bit behind so she like opens the door before he does anything. Still, she doesn't notice this guy and keeps walking in. She's walking all through these hallways and he starts like closing the gap. Like, he's getting a lot closer to her, almost within grabbing distance. Now here's where it gets amazing. This girl seems to realize that she's in danger, so she fakes going towards the elevator, turns around and goes a different way, which, unless he's following her, he would have to act like, you know, I gotta go over to the elevator and act like I'm not being suspicious. So he does. But in that time, she not only backtracks one more time, but again, and so she was able to sneak past him and leave the building. Now the stalker doesn't actually realize that she left until a little bit afterwards, but then he goes and follows her again. Luckily by that time, she has ran outside and grabbed an adult, I think it's probably her father, and ran back in. So obviously this stalker has seen this other adult and can't can't, you know, kidnap the girl anymore, so he just leaves. Basically the greatest fake of all time, in my opinion, but this is also really scary because the stalker never got caught. So if he was that blatant about waltzing in behind some girl in like obviously a very public place, then that means he's probably going to do it again, which sucks. But hey, props to that girl. She's a freaking badass. We love ya. All right, we've dealt with some kidnappings during this video. Let's get into the paranormal. This one is actually insane. I've seen quite a few paranormal videos in my day. Actually, I would consider myself quite the expert on paranormal videos, distinguishing whether or not they are real or fuck. So let's get into this video because it truly stumped me. Now there's this girl with a haunted basement. Cool, a lot of people claim to have haunted basements, but this one's super weird. So it starts out, she's got security cameras all around her house, but all of a sudden in her basement, the camera starts picking up noises. Now even though it's like an infrared camera, the basement is pretty dark, so you can't actually see anything. All you can really do is hear ghosts and footsteps, which is the really weird part. And on this very first night that she captures it, I think it says, "What do you hear?" in like a little child voice. It's very, very strange, but like muffled whispers and whatnot. So obviously that's pretty creepy. You hear some noises downstairs, whatever. Here it gets worse. So the second night, it captures the motion again and you can hear a big thump. So things have been super weird this whole week, but nothing like super evident until this. So 2 p.m., broad daylight. Like this is not like some 3 a.m. challenge. This is just happening in the middle of the day, but that's good because it's very light out so we can see everything happening. It captures this swing moving back and forth for a long time, and then all of a sudden you hear a little child voice and a bunch of footsteps, and then you see this walking stick that's up against the wall come crashing down right as whatever child screams, "No!" Like, what the fuck? That's insane! All this is happening at the same time on camera, on a security cam up there. And at first, I watched this and I was like, yeah, that's crazy, this is pretty insane, but this is a YouTuber posting this video. But looking into it, she's only got 400 subscribers and a couple videos. So it's not like she's some crazy cinematic production or like has like 7 people sitting there with different strings and stuff like that. Like this isn't that. And the video only has about 1,000 views. So this led me to think that this is pretty real, which is crazy because so much actually happened. And you can legitimately hear this child's voice during most of these clips. So if I were her, I would be out the fuck of that house because this is creepy and very unexplainable. Okay, down to the top 2, and as promised at the beginning of the video, these are insane. Like, I cannot believe these happened and got caught on camera. So let's start with this, the Chicago Creeper. Okay, so this woman in Chicago noticed that her purse went missing when she told her boyfriend. Her boyfriend just said, "Yo, you probably left it at some restaurant, you dumbass." Now that obviously led to a fight, as I'm sure it would. And so after all the bickering, they decided, you know what, how about this? We retrace our steps using our security cameras and see what happened. So scrolling through the past couple of days, they found that at 3:30 a.m., their Nest camera caught motion. Now they were sleeping on the couch watching a movie. Both their dogs were right by their feet. And this is what happens. There's literally a man that comes out from their upstairs bedroom and he is just watching them. He like walked in silently, no one heard him. I don't know how this is happening. And apparently these two told reporters after like reviewing all the footage that he stood there for 5 full minutes, went back in to some other room, came back out and stood there for another 5 minutes. Why, if you're breaking into somebody's house, do you just sit there and basically watch the TV? The video goes on to show that he stands there until their movie credits start rolling. He realizes the show's about to end and I guess dips there, but like, why is this guy just chilling in your freaking house? Like, he's no like, just sit there, rob your thing and get out. He's like, yo, let me hang out for a bit, dog, what's up? Watch TikTok videos or something. So they also told reporters that the only reason why their doors weren't locked is because they did fall asleep on the couch. Otherwise, before they went up to bed, they usually lock up. But after they reported this to the news, the man was never caught, even though he has been known to intrude and steal throughout the neighborhood that they were in. So this guy's like an infamous thief, and he just hangs out and chills in your living room with you. Like, I feel like that's creepy. I don't know about you, but if I saw this video, I would shit myself. Moving on to number 1, an even creepier story. Alright, this one's called Creeper in My Apartment. It's definitely the scariest non-paranormal thing I've ever seen on camera. But before we get into that, guys, please, if you could do one thing for me ever, all it would be go to the SamGolbach channel, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Obviously, in 2020, we had like a weird posting schedule and the YouTube algorithm's like kind of screwing up and not sending notifications to people. So just make sure to go in, turn on the notifications, make sure it's on your phone. That would be awesome. And hey, if you want to subscribe to my channel too, that would be dope. Now, let's get into this. Actually, I need my spooky goggles on. These are my creepy video review glasses. Let's go. This video comes from a guy named Joe Cummings. Nope. Pun intended. This video is pretty old, all the way back in 2009. So Joe's been setting up some cameras around the house because he realizes that in his kitchen, a lot of food and drinks have been going missing. He feels like it's super weird and wants to make sure that nothing's happening. Now again, late at night, a couple hours after he goes to bed, he captures this. A woman just comes out of this weird ceiling door, I don't know, like vent thing, and starts creeping down. And it's not some like normal way of creeping down. It's like super weird and odd movements, but you could tell she has obviously done this a lot. Like a lot of different times, like she's a pro at it. Now, she goes down and the first thing she does is she literally pees in his sink. She just pops a squat and pisses in the sink. And then immediately goes and steals a bunch of food out of the refrigerator. Now, obviously, she's not very scared and has done this before because she sits down and watches TV. Like what? This girl is in your house eating, drinking, and chilling on the couch. Like this is a complete stranger. Then she hides immediately because she hears that Joe's coming out of his room. He goes and gets food from himself, like all in the same night. This is happening seconds after one another. Then when he decides to peace out and leave, she goes back and eats more. Like the f. She just ends up continually doing whatever the heck she wants and then finally leaves the same eerie way all the way up through the ceiling door. Now, obviously, because this guy set up the camera for the one sole purpose, he went in and watched the footage immediately. But right before, when he woke up, he went to the kitchen and drank from the same carton that this woman had. Like, what? Like, imagine, he's probably been doing that for weeks. Anyway, as he reviewed the footage, he immediately called the police, got up into their attic, and they arrested the woman. It turns out this girl was homeless and she had been living there for weeks. So this is a 100% true story. This is not faked or whatever. There are police reports of this happening. It is insane. Like, imagine someone living in your house, eating, drinking, and pissing in your sink for weeks. That's insane. Like, when I saw this, I could not believe that this happened. So I feel so bad for you, Joe. Like, that's very scary. I would immediately move too. But if you guys like these top 5 videos, I'm gonna continue doing them. Just get this to 50,000 likes and leave a comment on what I should review next. And again, the #1 way to support me and Colby would just to be go and subscribe to the Sam and Colby channel and watch our 25 by 25 video. Like, literally spent weeks on this video and it's one of my favorite videos I've ever posted. But with that being said, I'll see you next week with another video. Adios. Actually, I'd consider myself quite the expertise.